All right, I got a lot of new info about Stellar. I want to try to share it with you here. I spoke with Adam Ludwin, CEO of Interstellar. And let me just say everything I say here, none of this is a quote from him. Some things, I read between the lines. This is my opinion. But I did have a conversation with him, which is where these opinions come from. But please don't make these to be quotes from him. So one of the big things I was really interested in is, so Interstellar is now running Stellar X. It was formerly Chain, was the company, and they work with NASDAQ and Visa. So my big question is, what is NASDAQ and Visa doing with blockchain or Stellar? And the answer basically is this. Those companies and whatever other companies that he said, sort of in general, these large companies do not want to disrupt their existing business. They want to create new businesses. So in other words, NASDAQ is not looking to tokenize all the existing stocks on the NASDAQ stock exchange, but they are looking to have new crypto assets to trade, right? Visa is not looking to disrupt its existing payment system that we use. They're looking to get into a new business, maybe commercial payments. So, on one hand, it's great news that those two organizations, and I think they're working with others as well, are specifically looking at getting involved in crypto assets, and anyone, Chain basically, or now Interstellar, helps these companies make their technology into something that is tokenized, and then they put it on Stellar, the Stellar network for the trading. And so it's similar to IBM. So now Stellar has multiple large institutions which are looking to create tokenized assets that they will trade on Stellar. And the Stellar story is simply about how big is its network based on how many of these institutions are able to bring tokenized assets to it. So that was good. I mean, it wasn't as good as the idea that Visa's looking to disrupt their own business. That would have been a bigger story. But what was positive news, because I did ask, one of my concerns, and I've heard many of my viewers, we have this concern that what if Stellar is purely a utility, only a bridge currency that if someone wants to trade, currency A for currency B, and they put it into lumens for 3 seconds and then into another currency, and they only hold it for 3 seconds as a utility token, how much value could this token have? But what Adam said to me, again, not a quote, but in general, when institutions start using the Stellar network, if they have X amount of volume, some percentage of that they hold in lumens. So that means that lumens does have a store of value use that, like I said, so if IBM is doing, or IBM gets a bank or a trading partner to do $1 billion a month in trading, that means they're going to hold a percentage of that trading volume in lumens, just they store on their balance sheet. And one reason is just technical, in that if they need the lumens for doing the trading, they don't want to have the risk of going to an exchange and buying it for the 3 seconds they need it and selling it back. So they need to keep some on their balance sheet. So that is good news that Stellar is not, which I always assumed would be the case, but it was good to hear someone sort of say that is the case. Now, I don't know what that percentage is. That would be interesting, but this means, my hypothesis is, and after having this conversation, is well intact. The hypothesis that the Stellar network will be much larger, its ecosystem larger and more active 5 years from now than it is now. That means, and all the participants on that network will each hold a percentage of lumens based on the amount of volume they do on the network. And so with all that holding true, I expect the value of the token 5 years from now to be higher than it is now, higher than it is now. I'm not going to get into Lambo's when. I don't worry about that. I just like to be in investments that have a strong growth path for long term, which I am seeing. Now, I also asked him about, what about, Jesse Lund from IBM said, and it's many months ago, he said it's a central bank will be issuing a currency on the Stellar network soon. And we haven't heard anything. What's going on with that? Adam was sort of negative. He's like, I don't know. I don't see that really happening. His concern, he thinks one of the concerns of the central bank is privacy. Stellar Network is totally open, and he didn't think that the central banks would want all of their business so widely open. And also, Stellar Network is pretty young. I'm going to talk about how decentralized it is and what's going on with the nodes, because I had another conversation about that. We'll get to that in a minute. But privacy, he thought, would be an issue. So now, the other thing is, Stellar is becoming compatible with the Lightning Network. And I've heard Jed McCaleb said the reason they're doing that is to be able to bring some privacy to Stellar. But the Lightning Network, and as I see what's going on with Bitcoin, by the way, that'll be another video coming soon about what I've learned about Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. But anyways, the developing on the Lightning Network is a little slow. It's very technical and it's kind of difficult. So I'm not expecting they're supposed to be Stellar launches on the Lightning Network, I don't know, in December. I don't think there's going to be lots of working applications right away, because then they have to start building those. I don't know how fast that's going to go. But I don't know. Like I said, Jesse Lund from IBM seemed very confident 6 to 8 months ago. What is going on? And I wonder, and maybe you guys, if you have an opinion on, I'd like to get Jesse Lund's opinion on this. I tweeted him. I don't hear anything back. But I wonder, we have a bunch of followers here. My Stellar Army. No, not mine. We're a decentralized army. Our Stellar Army here. I wonder what would be the best way if we all sort of tried to contact him at once. If Twitter's the best way, maybe we should do that. And put some things in the comments on how. I think if we all bombard Jesse Lund with this question at the same time, it might make enough noise that he makes an answer, because it would be interesting to hear. So let me know your thoughts on that. And he also, this Interstellar, I think they're up in San Francisco. If you're looking for a job, they're looking to hire. I think that would be a cool place to work. I don't know if it's only hardcore developers, but I would check it out and hit up this Adam. I think he's Adam at Interstellar or whatever. It seems like he's very open and talking and not hard to get in touch with. Would be an exciting company to join if you're looking for a job. Now, I also talked to a guy named Konstantin from, I think it's called BlockDaemon. They are, and I think it was, so they help set up nodes, and they are helping Stellar with providing more nodes on the Stellar network. So one of the things that came up at this event I was at was someone made a comment about how Stellar, it's not really decentralized, and you could just attack it for this much money. And I'm like, huh? Because the way Stellar, well, anyways, I was like, I don't know if I agree with that, but I'll go check it out. So I talked to this guy, Constantine, who someone said he was the one who said you could. So I talked to him, and let me give you the finish line, first of all. Stellar is decentralized, as far as I'm concerned, and I think it'll become even more and more decentralized over time. So here, let me just give you in general how it works. So right now, Stellar only has 65 nodes. I've heard Jed say he hopes someday it would have 1,000. I think when it has 1,000 nodes, it is, really even much strongerly decentralized. Strongerly? I don't know. It would be fully decentralized. Certainly more than with only 65 nodes. Nevertheless, so the way it works is, you have a group, you have nodes. Each node has nodes that it trusts. And if someone just started throwing up a bunch of nodes that you didn't trust or were sort of trying to attack or screw up the network, you can just not trust all of them, and they end up sort of forking off or becoming a fork because nobody trusts them. So it's pretty safe. The algorithm is, I think it's one of the best consensus algorithms out there in that it is fast and easy and doesn't use a lot of energy, and it is attack resistant. So to the claims that I've been hearing about it not being decentralized, speaking to this Konstantin who knows his stuff, and the person who was claiming they weren't said that he agreed it wasn't. His point was simply you could throw up, it's not that expensive to throw up nodes on Stellar, and you could throw up a ton to attack the network, but he did agree with me that that really wouldn't screw up the hard work that IBM and everybody else is doing, because it could screw up things for a day, or it could be annoying, but they could just sort of fork it away from whoever is attacking. So I do think the network is safe. And and then just the other thing I learned from him, it's the thing about the Stellar nodes is you don't make any money from it. It's not mining. It's sort of just to help the community and to help yourself. If you are building on Stellar, you're going to want to have your own node, so that you can connect with it and you get the data right there. So that's how that works. I don't know if anyone wants more data than that. Another thing, so I talked to this guy also about, we heard last year Jed was excited about something, an announcement, and we're like, whoa, what's this going to be? And, at this point, I'm guessing, the announcement was just this excitement about Chain, who works with NASDAQ and Visa, and him buying this company. It was, I can't remember, $100 million or 200 million, something in the 100 millions that he bought. And it is pretty cool that Stellar and Visa are now trying to extend their tentacles onto Stellar. I think that was the announcement that he was holding back. I don't know that there's anything more exciting coming. And also, this Constantine, he knows Jed, and he knows pretty well what's going on. And he confirms also that he's just, another person confirming to me that this guy is a genius. He thinks he's the most underrated crypto star, in the space. We also talked a little bit about the controversy of him leaving Ripple, and I believe Jed has said, and it makes sense to me, that he wanted a network that is open and free, because that's like his whole thesis, that like when you send email, imagine if SMTP was owned by a private company. Would everybody have gotten on it? No, it needed to be free and open. And so similar, he sees that with Stellar. But there's a controversy, and Constantine seems to believe the controversy, that he was at Ripple and he had his girlfriend there, and he said, either my girlfriend works here or I'm leaving, and they said no, and he left. I mean, I just can't believe that, just based on, my sense of logic and human behavior. Not to mention, not that people would do something stupid for a girlfriend. That I believe entirely. But the idea that an open and free network was not a core issue in him leaving. I think, and I'm sure there was some girlfriend controversy that could have influenced and added emotion to that whole process of whether to leave or not. But the idea that was the only reason he left just doesn't seem like enough to me. Or to think that he just would have worked at Ripple and it would have been a private for-profit company, because he doesn't. I really don't believe he. That's his vision. So I don't know. But this Constantine, he wasn't so sure. And Constantine also was the central bank idea. He doesn't think that's coming either. He's like, it's too early. The network, like I said, it's decentralized, but it's young. It's only 65 nodes, and for a central bank, they need this stuff to be even more. Like I said, Stellar could be attacked and would survive, but I think a central bank doesn't want a situation where it could even be sort of attacked for a day. So I think that's everything I learned. The bottom line for me is I continue to be happy with holding my Stellar, my 30%. It's not about, for me, that this is going to the moon. It's not about that. My thing, and from the beginning, is I want to hold something that I can hold for 5 years. I don't want to have to trade. Maybe it goes to the moon, baby Lambo. For those who don't know, that means the price goes way up. Maybe. And that would be awesome. I don't really think it's going to go down, but the bottom line is this network is growing, and I can leave my investment there and not worry about it, and this should be one that grows. And so with these conversations, I come away feeling this is a real company. A real organization. It is not a shit coin. There are people involved who are super smart, whether it's Jed or this company Interstellar or their partners, IBM, and Visa and NASDAQ. I don't know that they're partners, but they're building things that are leading to Stellar. So all of this tells me this is a solid place, and we are early in an investment, and I feel good about hodling. And that was my original thing. The second video I ever made on this channel, when Stellar was at $0.015, I said, this is one we can hold. And I think that's valuable. You watch every day and these things, who knows what's going on. But with this one, I came away feeling positive and solid that this is a solid investment, and it isn't a super risky, crazy thing. It could go down. It could only go up a little, and other coins make more appreciation. But my number one focus is all the time is not to get stuck in a shit coin that goes to zero, because many will. Or get in one that drifts down and does crappy for friggin' 4 or 5 years, and then you're like, oh, I give up. That's what I'm looking to avoid. I'm old. I've been in that kind of thing before, and that is the worst. So I feel good about my Stellar, and I think that's all I want to tell you right now. Let me know your thoughts.